You are listening to the Daily Gospel Reflections with Sister Cloth. This podcast is brought to you by the Paulines Multimedia. It is our mission to bring the Word of God to all peoples through sounds and images, voices, and music. Come and join us as we share with you a thought a day. Our reading for today is lifted from the Gospel account of St. Matthew, chapter 17, verses 22 to 27. As Jesus and his disciples were gathering in Galilee, Jesus said to them, "The Son of Man is to be handed over to men, and they will kill him, and he will be raised on the third day." And they were overwhelmed with grief. When they came to Capernaum, the collectors of the temple tax approached Peter and said, "Does not your teacher pay the temple tax?" "Yes," Peter said. When he came into the house, before he had time to speak, Jesus asked him, "What is your opinion, Simon? From whom do the kings of the earth take tolls or census tax? From their subjects or from foreigners?" When he said, "From foreigners," Jesus said to him, "Then the subjects are exempt. But that we may not offend them, go to the sea, drop in a hook, and take the first fish that comes up. Open its mouth, and you will find a coin worth twice the temple tax. Give that to them for me and for you." Welcome back, and may God bless our day. For today, may share the beautiful reflection on the Gospel of Matthew by one of the spiritual writers from the Servants of the Word. The writer begins by posing, "Who likes to pay taxes, especially when you think they are unreasonable or unjust?" In today's reading, the tax collectors confronted Jesus and his disciples on the issue of tax evasion. The temple tax collectors approached Peter and asked, "Does your teacher not pay the temple tax?" He said, "Yes, he does." When Peter returned home, Jesus spoke to his disciples saying, "We must pay so as not to cause bad example. We must go beyond our duty to show others what they should do." The scriptural expression "to give no offense" doesn't refer to insult or annoyance. Rather, it means to put no stumbling block in the way of another that would cause them to trip or fall. Jesus would not allow himself anything which might be a bad example to someone else. We can also ask ourselves, do we evade unpleasant responsibilities or obligations? On 3 different occasions, the Gospels record that Jesus predicted he would endure great suffering through betrayal, rejection, and the punishment of a cruel death. The Jews resorted to stoning, and the Romans to crucifixion. Crucifixion is the most painful and humiliating death they could devise for criminals they wanted to eliminate. No wonder the apostles were greatly distressed at such a prediction. If the Romans put Jesus, their master, to death, they would likely receive the same treatment from their enemies, or so they thought. Jesus called himself the Son of Man because this was a common Jewish title for the Messiah. Why must the Messiah be rejected and killed? Did not God promise that His anointed one would deliver His people from their oppression and establish a kingdom of peace and justice? The prophet Isaiah had foretold that it was God's will that the suffering servant make atonement for sins through his suffering and death. Jesus paid the price for our redemption with his blood. The ransom Jesus paid sets us free from the worst tyranny possible, the tyranny of sin and the fear of death. The victory of Jesus did not end with death, but triumphed over the tomb. Jesus defeated the powers of death through his resurrection. Do we want the greatest freedom possible? The freedom to live as God truly meant us to live as his sons and daughters? Lord Jesus, your death brought life and freedom. May I always walk in that freedom and be guided by your love and truth, that I may be generous towards all and give each their due. Be with us again tomorrow as we share with you a thought a day. Meanwhile, you can follow us and listen to other Apple and Google podcasts on Spotify, produced by Paulines Multimedia. Have a good day.